Every empire has its black market. Every financial system, no matter how sophisticated, hides a shadow economy beneath it. This is the place where truth trades quietly, while the official world lies out loud. Because when money stops working, people don't wait for permission to survive. They build a second economy that doesn't need laws, banks, or central planners. This economy runs on the oldest currencies of all: need, trust, and gold. This is the part economists never talk about. The black market isn't a glitch in capitalism. It is pure capitalism stripped of its PR department. Welcome to Paper Empire's history. Today we look at where the official narrative ends and the real economy begins. Weimar Germany, 1923. The mark wasn't inflating, it was evaporating. A loaf of bread that cost 250 marks in January cost 200 million marks by November. Cash became trash. Families burned banknotes for heat because coal was more expensive. Governments called it temporary. People called it survival. They stopped saving in marks and started saving in anything real. Gold, silver, foreign coins, even cigarettes. A gold wedding ring could feed a family for a week. Paper money literally became wallpaper. When belief dies, the black market takes over. The same cycle repeated in war-torn Europe. Governments rationed food, medicine, and fuel in the name of fairness. But fairness doesn't survive scarcity. In occupied Paris, coffee was contraband, sugar was a luxury, and penicillin was a miracle reserved for those who could pay in gold. Soldiers and civilians met in back rooms, trading uniforms for gasoline, diamonds for food. In the Warsaw Ghetto, smugglers risked death to bring in bread. The state called them criminals. The starving called them essential workers. The second law of collapse is this: legality and morality never collapse at the same speed. By the Cold War, the system had learned to lie more efficiently. The Soviet Union claimed to have abolished markets entirely, but everyone knew someone who could get things. Need a refrigerator? Pay in vodka. Need car parts? A carton of Marlboros will do. Blue jeans became a currency, proof that Western luxury was more valuable than socialist equality. Even the elites used the same networks. The people's government had private stores stocked with foreign goods. While preaching proletarian sacrifice, party officials' wives used French perfumes, smuggled in through Finland. Communism didn't fail because it was poor. It failed because it had to pretend the black market didn't exist. In Latin America, the script was different, but the plot was identical. Argentina, 2001. Banks froze deposits, and citizens woke up broke. The blue dollar became the country's real heartbeat. People exchanged money in alleys and nail salons, tracking rates that changed twice a day. The official peso was a joke. The underground peso was survival. Venezuela went further. Inflation turned grotesque. People carried backpacks of cash to buy groceries and still couldn't afford them, so they turned to gold dust. Yes, actual gold dust, weighed on kitchen scales and traded in plastic bags. The government condemned it, then quietly used the same system to fund itself. This is the irony every government repeats. The louder they condemn the black market, the more they rely on it. Because black markets don't just move goods, they keep the illusion of order alive. They feed soldiers, fuel trucks. They do what bureaucracy can't. They work. And gold? Gold is the battery that powers the underground. It is the only money that requires no belief. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't vanish with a crash or freeze with a policy. In Berlin, Beirut, or Beijing, an ounce of gold means the same thing: autonomy. So let's go deeper. How does a black market actually work? It starts small. Someone trades cigarettes for sugar. A pharmacist sells antibiotics off the books. Then networks form, brokers, smugglers, until the illegal economy becomes the only functioning one. And it is brutally honest. Prices rise not by decree, but by desperation. It is Adam Smith with a gun in the room. Supply and demand stripped of sentimentality. Who profits? The same people who always do. Those with access, information, or courage. Who suffers? Those who still believe the official story. Every black market is a classroom, and its first lesson is cruel. Trust is the most expensive currency. But black markets also leave scars. When a society learns to trade in shadows, it stops trusting the daylight. After Weimar, Germany never trusted inflation again. That trauma birthed decades of fiscal obsession. After the Soviets, Russia became a gangster economy because citizens learned every law had a price. The shadow economy doesn't just reflect collapse. It shapes what comes next. It rewires morality. It creates a new kind of citizen, skeptical, cunning, and fluent in survival. And this is the part Western audiences miss. They think it can't happen here, but it is already happening, just with better marketing. When Canada froze bank accounts during protests, the world saw a polite version of capital control. When the European Union introduced digital currency frameworks, they promised transparency. Translation: programmable money, one step away from rationing. Control is being rebranded as convenience, surveillance as security. And just like every other empire before, the more control they seek, the faster the black market grows. Because Because you can outlaw trade, but you can't outlaw need. The new black market isn't in alleys, it's online. Encrypted chats in Nigeria moving dollars faster than banks. Peer-to-peer crypto swaps in Argentina. Offshore stablecoins traded in Southeast Asia. The instinct is the same. Create an economy that can't be frozen. People aren't rebelling. They are adapting. This is the quiet revolution of the 21st century. Sovereignty without permission. And while governments lecture citizens about financial crime, central banks are quietly hoarding the oldest illegal asset of them all, gold. They aren't diversifying, they are hedging against themselves. The black market isn't the enemy of the system. It is the mirror of its failure. Every government that loses credibility creates its own replacement, one transaction at a time. The official economy measures control. The black market measures truth. And when those two lines cross, collapse isn't coming. It is already here. Ask yourself, if your government froze your money tomorrow, if your salary lost half its value overnight, what would you trade with? Because that is your real economy. That is the world beneath the spreadsheet. And history's verdict never changes. The official money dies first. The black market follows. And gold never leaves. If what I shared today helped you see the world from a different perspective, don't forget to subscribe. Because history always has an answer. You just need to look from the right angle.